Good morning, everybody who is online, joining us online on our YouTube channel or right now live here. It is great to be back after a couple of weeks that I've been going traveling back in Spain, seeing the family. My dad has had surgery. Everything went really well. He's back home and just recovering. So I'm so grateful for that. We are in the series. I started a couple of weeks ago that it is called "Are You on the Right Track?" And this is part 4. This is about friends. This is about friendships. You have heard me say many times that I really haven't heard any sermons about friendship. So today I just wanted to. It is a part of "Are You on the Right Track?" I don't know if you remember, but we were looking at the map, signs. Today it is friendship, and we have 2 more that it is rest and help others, right? So we continue with the series, kind of thinking about this life, like if it is a hike or if it is a trekking, right? And we need to be ready. We need to be ready as best as we can as we deal with life and we deal with this track, right? So last time we talked about the map, the first time, and we talk about how important it is the Word of God, that when our Bible engagement in our lives it is really low, we are kind of already heading off track, right? If our Bible engagement it is really low. The second one, it was I shared with you kind of the importance of how our core values are leading us also in life, and then some of the hard practices like staying clean, staying clear, and how important it is our personal relationship with God and with each other, right? That was the map. Second one, last one, it was kind of the signs, right? And I don't know if anybody remember any of the signs who were in the, you remember the white thing and all that? Yeah. I forgot about it already. I think that I have ADHD. Anyway, so we were talking about overruling, how prompt we are to overrule God's commands, and how we have that tendency of just trying to figure out things on our own, and we easily go off track when we do that, right? We were talking about how ministry it is sacrifice, and we have to accept it once and for all that Christian life is sacrificial. And we're going to be looking at today at friendship, and we're going to see how important that concept is too, right? So I was 14. I think that I was 14 years old when my parents, they signed me up without my permission for a 2 weeks overnight summer camp, Christian summer camp in the north of Spain. Okay, that was in San Sebastian. Beautiful place, one of the most beautiful places in Spain, right? So I was kind of excited at the beginning, but it is interesting. I say this because it is interesting how a 2 weeks overnight summer camp, it was the foundation for one of my best friendships that I have. Just a 2 weeks summer camp, overnight summer camp. And I cannot share with you everything that happened there because you wouldn't believe it. I'm telling you, in 2 weeks, what happened, it was absolutely, it was, let's say, very, very, very challenging. So, but during those 2 weeks, I remember this verse that you know, but it says that having such deep affection for you, we were delighted to share with you not only God's good news, but also our own lives, because you have become so very dear to us. It's like not only the good news, but our very own life. And during those 2 weeks, we really share our very own lives, and we really share about the good news too. We share life together. We study the Bible together. We played sports. We were grounded washing dishes almost the 2 weeks because we were punks, right? We got for 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, in fact, from the beginning, we got diarrhea. We lost like 4 or 5 kilograms during that time. We share the gospel every single evening. We share the gospel. We went to the city to share the gospel with that problem. It was so fun. And in one of our ways back, our bus broke down, and we were in the highway for probably 6-7 hours. So they were picking us up in a car, in a bus of more than 60 kids. So imagine how many trips, right? How many trips? We were 6-7 hours with no food, having that problem, etc. Right? So it was absolutely horrible what happened in that bus. We had to go and hunt for food almost. We had to ask for food, right? We got a company that they gave us boxes of chorizo, chorizo, right? And we brought all that food to our campers, right? We were the ones bringing the food. And there are many other things that I cannot share in public with you. But all those things that happen, right? That we share life together, those 2 weeks, it's interesting that it built kind of the foundation for our friendship. He is also, his name is Danny, and he's also in ministry, and we have been friends since we were 14 years old, and since that camp, and we talk about it all the time. Now, when I was there in Spain, we were just, talking about that camp and thinking about some details that happened there, etc., and just having a lot of fun, right? So probably there is nothing most influential other than that, but in a person's life, that a friend. That's the reality. For good or for bad, you can have bad friends, and bad friends will lead you off track easily. That's why parents they are so concerned about their kids' choices, about their friendships, right? As a kid, as a teenager, my parents didn't have that problem with me, but my friends' parents, they had that problem with them because they were associated with me. So they really had a struggle for me going with them, right? But not anymore. Now I'm a good man, I suppose. Anyways, so when it comes, well, let me remember. I have to do it every single time. Let me remember Sabine, because if you remember, she's a good friend, driving more than 900 miles, not giving up, in just trying to pick up her friend, right? Let's not forget Sabine. Okay. Anyways, when it comes to friendship, I think that we deal with a foundational problem of meaning. I think. What is friendship about? What is biblical friendship about? Is there any difference? I think that we struggle with the concept. And in fact, I think that we struggle with the concept because how many of us, we have been let down by friends in our lives? How many of us, we have been hurt in that kind of relationship, right? I believe that along the way in our life journey, as we move on from being kid, teenager, young adult, and adulthood, we struggle with the concept of friendship because of that. We don't know anymore what a true friend looks like. We don't have that many examples, maybe, right? So having friends with whom you can be yourself and enjoy spending time is associated with numerous quality of life factors, such as happiness, life satisfaction, feelings of belonging, and better self-esteem. Social support provided by friends can act as a buffer to stresses like illness, family issues, work problems, and other challenging circumstances, right? So we know how important friendships are, right? And having good friends is. But I was reading another article in the Global Mail talking about friends and how after the pandemic, men especially, they have experienced a drop in their time with their friends, to the point that most of them, they have lost. Most of their friends, they are lost by now. And I believe that in Canada, we are in a time that friends are more than necessary. So, and those are really hard to find. But let me read one of the part of the article, because I think that it is really important, and it is going to give us some framework for what is happening here in Canada. But it says that feeling both loneliness both loneliness and the shame of talking about it has become an epidemic of shorts among men in North America. A recent American study found that the number of men reporting 5 or more close friends has dropped by half since 1990. 1 in 5 men even reported that they didn't have a single close friend. 1 in 5, not a single one close friend. One Statistics Canada survey say that 38% of Canadian men sometimes, rarely, or never have someone to count on. Also, another survey shows that 70% of men see their friends less as they get older. Less as they get older. I don't know if it is your example or not. That is the survey. It is 1 in 5, right? They didn't have a close friend. 38%, sometimes, rarely, or never have someone to count on. I don't know about women. Maybe women it is the same. I didn't found. I did a research to find out about women. Sorry, I didn't found research about women. But still, the studies it says that raise big questions. Why are these kinds of giant shifts happening? And more importantly, what is someone supposed to do about it, right? It is even after the pandemic, this has increased, all these issues, right? All these challenges of spending time with friends and less time, or having someone to count on, right? So as you can see, even as you can see all these, there is, I can perceive a little bit, there is a sense of hopelessness, right? And questions that haven't been answered yet. And I believe that as Christians, we are the ones who can provide, who can bring light into all this darkness. Because one thing is true, it is that we need friends. We need friends. That we have been created to be a true friend. That we have been created for relationships, that we are wired to trust and to have friends, but maybe not any kind of friends, right? Proverbs 12:26, it says that the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the weak leads them astray. 1 Corinthians, and this is Paul talking, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. And here he's talking about some of the teachers that they were denying about Christ's resurrection, but at the end, if you are not careful with your friendships, they can lead you astray easily. And that happens not only with kids, that happens in adulthood too. But as I was thinking that, and you know, I think that I'm an extrovert, but I think that as I get older, I'm converting myself into an introvert. I don't know if that makes sense for you or not, but my whole life I have been an extrovert, but I don't know why I'm getting into being more an introvert. But anyways, this is good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Sometimes it's good. Yeah, it's good. So now, don't get me wrong with all this about choosing, because it is so important to choose properly your friendships. But at the same time, I was thinking about all the kind of relationships that we have in our lives and all the encounters that we have, right? So I'm aware that we don't have only friends or true friends or close friends. So we also interact with a lot of people, right? And I was thinking through, and I was reading, and I came across this article that I think that it brings some light, but it maybe it is not something that we don't know, but I think that it is something that it is important to point out. They call it the strength of weak ties. The strength of weak ties. This is an article from the American Psychological Association, but it says this: having a close friend or confidant is undeniable good for us, but psychologists have found that interactions with acquaintances, yesterday night, I put it on my Google Translate. I put the pronunciation and all that, and I have it here. Acquaintances. Yeah. let's keep going. But psychologists have found that interactions with acquaintances and even strangers can also give our mental health a boost. A casual relationship with the operator of a hot dog stand in Toronto helped Gillian Sandstrom feel grounded and connected while pursuing her master's degree. The relationship also inspired Sandstrom, now a senior lecturer in psychology at the University of Sussex, to start studying weak social ties. These connections with acquaintances, a work friend you bump into once a week, the pet store employee who remembers your cat, can be surprisingly sustaining. Sandstrom research has found that people who have more weak tie interactions are happier than those who have fewer, and that people tend to be happier on days when they have more than their average number of weak tie interactions. She also encourages talking to strangers and has shown that repeated practice can make doing so easier and more enjoyable. These minimal social interactions give us something important that we missed during the pandemic: novelty. Sandstrom said, we learn surprising things when we have unplanned encounters and conversations with people, a benefit that people tend to underestimate. We underestimate so much kind of the interactions that we have, but that is something that it is not new for us. Everything that they are saying here, when you read the Bible, when you look at Jesus' life and you see the way that he was interacting with people, it was that way. He was healing them. He was asking them questions. He was showing interest in their lives. He was. I mean, anybody who interacted with Jesus somehow was impacted by him. Always, something happened, right? So Jesus didn't underestimate those kind of relationships neither. We cannot say, no, I have only all these kind of friends and everybody else I don't care about, right? So I don't want to put only the pressure on the focus that it is so important in how we challenge ourselves to find good friends and all that, but we also have to take into consideration all those weak ties that they call, right? And how God it is at work, and for us to ask God to give us a spiritual eyesight to see what is going on, so God can use us and work through us in all those relationships, right? So we don't want to underestimate. We don't want to underestimate those kind of relationships neither. We need to let the Holy Spirit guide us through those encounters. So don't underestimate that, right? Okay, so worldly friendship versus biblical friendship, kind of. I'm just trying to bring some light, hopefully, into the topic. But when we look into this world to find some kind of answer about what is a friendship about, what friends are about, most of the times, what you find it is that friendship, it is a self-centered thing. It is a self-centered thing. It is the idea of having that connection with that person as long as I can get something out of it. If I can get a benefit out of it. It happens within the church. I fully understand that. And so many people have the wrong concept about friendship and all that within the church too. But what you find out there, it is a self-centered thing. It is about me, and as long as it benefits me, we're gonna be connected. We're gonna be in somehow in a relationship, right? So what you can see when that happens, it is that the relationship, it is just transactional. It is that, okay, I did a favor to you on 1991. It is here on my notebook. So now you owe me. You have to pay. You have to pay my mortgage this month, right? Because I mean, in 1991, I gave you one candy. So now you owe me, right? The inflation, you owe me, right? Interest. That's the interest, right? But that happens all the time. It is so transactional, right? It is so transactional. In fact, some people are going to be more interested in you they're going to be more interested in you if you are in what they consider to be a power or influential position. Some people treat pastors in a different way that they treat other people, right, Jamie? Well, no, it is not our case probably, but for some other people, they treat us even worse. But no, I'm joking. But I feel like you understand, right? It is like when they see someone that it is in a certain position, their whole way even of talking, it changes. Their approach to the relationship changes. Because at some point they can get something out of it. If it is a blessing, if it is, I don't know, whatever it is, maybe it can help me to get another position, right, within the church. And now I'm not just there, and now I'm here with the elite. You know what I mean? People are going to be more interested in you. Some people are going to be more interested in having a relationship with you. It is mind-blowing, but just putting a title there under your name, for some people care a lot about that, sadly. Some people are going to be more interested with you if you have some information that they think they need. Just to gossip. If you have something that they really are craving for, right? The dirty laundry, right? Or how do you call it? Yeah, the dirty laundry. So they're gonna show you that now they care. They're gonna start texting you. They're gonna be telling you, "Hey, how are you doing now that you are in a certain position?" Some people are gonna be there. That is not biblical friendship, right? There is some interest, the self. It is just feeding self, right? Another way it is that people that have money. There are people that have money and they look at them differently if they have money. In fact, so many churches, and we go, no, sit at the front. You have money, sit at the front. You know, the sweet spot, So you can listen to the pastor and the blessing will come to you first and then the other ones, right? It happens that way. If you have money, everything changes for some people. Again, everything changes. That is transactional. That is worldly friendship. That is something that you don't want. Sometimes you're going to find some friends, or so-called friends, that they have some kind of agenda behind their behavior. So they're dishonest, really. They're deceitful people. They are out there. They are. And sometimes it unfolds that friendship or no friendship unfolds even after years of friendship. That happens. It has happened to me. It happens. That's a reality. They are just waiting for their moment and just building something up during the years until they find the moment, they find the crack, and then they go all in, right? Sometimes that is worldly friendship. That is not true friendship, right? So as you have relationships and all that, those I think that are good indicators, good things that you can take into consideration about if what can you expect from this friendship or what you cannot, right? And be wise on choosing your friends, right? I think that another way that it is kind of weak, that because we call friend everybody, right? Let's be honest. We don't have too many words for friends other than that word that I don't like, acquaintances or something, right? We say true friend, we say close friend, we say biblical friend, what? Best friend. But friend is always there, right? So sometimes punk, you say that, yeah. There are many synonyms. Yeah, there are many. But sometimes we call friends to people that we share the same hobbies or same interests, right? Oh, he or she's my friend, right? I mean, they are your friends, but it is if it remains there, it is just a friendship that it is shallow, right? It is not something that, yeah, you can play Catan together, and maybe you are not friends. What you are is you just play Catan together. It is not the case, I know, but it can be that. I have friends that I've only played basketball with them, and I know what to expect. I cannot go farther than that, right? You just have to know what to expect from the relationship, right? One of the beautiful verses, you know, for sure, it is a friend loves at all time, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. So coming out of kind of this verse, right? Loves at all time, time of adversity. Thinking about Jesus' example, friendship is not a self-centered thing. Friendship is not about me. It is the opposite. Friendship is an outwardly focused concept. It is outwardly focused concept. We were talking last sermon about the signs, and we were talking about how ministry is sacrifice, how Christian life it is sacrificial. Friendship is sacrificial. It is outwardly focused. It is sacrificial. It is about serving others rather than serving self. But not only that, I think that we can take it to a deeper level. I think that Jesus has set the example of what a true friend looks like, right? So let's take a five kind of definitions, or 5 things that I believe that it is biblical friendship, right? One, it is consistency. It says Proverbs 17:17, a friend loves at all times, right? Consistency, being loyal and helpful, right? Good and bad times, always loving, right? That's one way of biblical friendship. How it shows up, right? Out of who you are, from your character. Consistency, being loyal and helpful. Second one, it is truth. Truth is gracefully spoken. It is gracefully spoken, even when it hurts. Even when it hurts. There are things that have to be said, and your friend is going to tell you, right? He's going to tell you. I don't believe that many Christians have the privilege to experience this. I don't think that many have the privilege to experience this. In fact, many believe that Christian life is just a private thing. Even with your friends, even your spiritual life, it is a private thing. And we don't let others in. If we reach in our mindset that our Christian, our spiritual life, our life, it is just a private thing, and we don't let other people in, we're gonna be in trouble with our friendships. And our friendships, they're gonna get stuck at some point. And you are not gonna be able to reach a deeper level of friendship, of biblical friendship, right? So truth is gracefully spoken. So are you humble? Are you teachable? Are you intentionally telling your friends, speak the truth to me? I need the truth, please. Have you considered that? Have you considered telling them, giving their permission? Because maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings. Maybe they don't want to be involved too much, right? Have you give them permission to do that in your life? I think we should. That is the second one. Truth is gracefully spoken, right? Even when it hurts. Third one, it is demonstrating kind of love in Corinthians, right? That is kind of our goal. It is just Jesus, just Christ, just what 1 Corinthians says, right? That it is love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy. That's a good one. If you have good news, very good news in your life, and you share it with someone that it is a friend and he's not happy for you, oh man, that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign, right? When you share good news with a friend and they're not happy for you. Yeah. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, right? But it does not envy, right? It does not boast. It is not proud. So as you can see, it is not about serving self. It is about it is an outwardly focused concept. It doesn't honor others. It doesn't dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, right? Beautiful, beautiful passage. difficult to integrate, right, into our faith, right? We trust that the Lord is doing His work in us, right? But demonstrating that kind of love of at least we strive for that, right? We're growing towards that, right? That is the third one. The fourth one, it is that a biblical friend will challenge you to grow in your faith and move you closer to God, right? It can look just like a friend. It can look like a discipleship. It can look like a mentor. It can look just a friend that you walk life together. But they're going to challenge you in your faith for you to grow in your faith. That if they see you stuck, they're going to be consistent with you. They're going to keep loving you. They're going to tell you the truth. But their goal, it is to help you in your growth, in your faith, right? If they're pulling you away from God, that's not a biblical friend. That's not, right? So they will challenge you in your faith. How many people do you have in your life that they are challenging you in a daily basis in your faith, to grow in your faith, just walking together in life, right? That's so important, right? Last one, he says that being willing to lay down one's life. That is kind of the ultimate test of biblical friendship, right? John 15:13, he says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Jesus did it. Jesus did it. Jesus set the example to us. He literally gave his life as a sacrifice for us. We may not encounter ourselves with that exact thing that you have to lay down physically your life for someone, but there are many other ways that you're going to lay down your life for your friends. Let me give you an example. Back in Spain, we were in an AGM meeting, and in that AGM meeting, everybody knew what was going to happen. It was going to be a big fight. We knew that. So anyway, pastor's family fighting. They had a big argument with another family. That other family, the woman had a ministry in prison. In order to do ministry in prison, the church has to give you like a letter or something, so for you to be able to do it. In that AGM, what from the elders, pastors was proposed, and it was gonna move ahead. It was to revoke the permission for her to do ministry just because they had an argument, right? So at that moment, when I saw that, I couldn't contain myself, and I had to intervene, right? So when I did it, nothing good happened. Nothing good happened, and yeah. So I turned from being someone who was preaching, someone who was doing the welcome, the involved with the sound, doing everything, to be a friend. They started to call me literally that I was the enemy of the church, just because I did that. The enemy, right? So in some sense, when I was protecting my friend, right, I died to that church, my childhood church. After that, I think that it happened, it was like 3-4 months, we had to leave the church. We had to leave the church. We couldn't stay there because we were still enemies. So sometimes you, maybe the way that you die, it is not physically, but for me, it cost me relationships, just doing that, right? And somehow I die. I haven't been able to go back to my home church that I grew up, that I was baptized when I was 12 years old. I haven't been able to be back. So there is sacrifice, right? Christian friendship is sacrificial, and you stand up for your friends. John 15:15, it says that I no longer call you servants, because a servant doesn't know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, beloved, dear. For everything that I learned from my Father, I have made known to you. He's calling us friends, right? Jesus, again and again, seems to want to share with us how much he desires a personal relationship with us. He's showing us what true friendship is about. That in fact, that door remains open to everybody who wants to come into a relationship with them. It's still open to anybody. That friendship is still open. That door is open to everybody who believes in him. So now I'm going to ask you the same question. Proverbs 17:17, a friend loves at all time, and a brother is born for a time of adversity, right? When you read this verse first, at the beginning, when we read it, what were you thinking? Were you thinking, there are really two ways. Were you thinking about, man, where can I find that friend that it is going to love me no matter what, that it is going to accept me, that it is going to, where can I find that brother that he's going to stand up for me? Or you can think, God, I want to be that friend. There are two ways to look at it. And maybe they complement each other. But I want to be that friend. I want to be that person that loves at all times. I want to be like you, Jesus. I want to lay down my life for my friends. I want to be for that person in a time of adversity. I want to be that person. Not only I'm going to be looking out there for that person, I want to be that person. There's a difference. There's a difference, right? And maybe they complement each other because we are always looking for friends, right? But I think that it is so important that as we grow to be like Christ, that we have in mind that is applicable for us first. Are we that kind of friend, right? What kind of friend you are? Do you strive in your life to be that kind of biblical friend of all the points that we have been talking? What kind of friends your friends will say that you are? If we ask around, if you ask around my friends, hey, what kind of friend David is? Can you tell me? What kind of friend you are? Sean? Right? What kind of friend? Or when you think about your past friends, is there anybody who passes the test of a biblical friend? Is there anybody? Or maybe you have a history of choosing poorly your friends, not only your spouse, right, Sonia, but your friends too. Maybe you have a history of that, right? Of choosing poorly your friends. So are you good at choosing your friends? Yeah. Anyways, so let me finish with some misconceptions that I believe about friendships, right? And we see kind of some biblical principles of friendships and all that, but some I believe misconceptions. One, it is that we know how to do and how to maintain friendships. We think that it is like so inherent in us that we know how to handle it, right? So rarely we look for help in this area. Really, nobody looks help in this area. How can I make friends? How can I maintain my friendships? What are some tips that I can get, right? Because we have seen all the statistics. We see how problematic it is becoming to spend more time with your friends. And we see how important it is, how key, how foundational it is to have those friends, right? But still we believe that it is so inherent in us that we know how to handle friendships and we know how to develop and maintain those friendships. Even though I think that nowadays we struggle still a lot with friendships. So that is probably one misconception. Maybe you need to open up a little bit and say, okay, maybe I need some help. Maybe I need to read a little bit more. Maybe I need to ask God to help me with this, right? So I think that is one misconception. The other one, it is that friendship involves maybe almost no effort. It goes so easy, and it is true that with some of your close friends, even though it is, you haven't talked for a year, you come together again, it is like time never moved, right? It is like you saw that person yesterday. But usually, and this is how it works, any kind of relationship, it takes effort. That is far from reality. When we talk about marriage and we do a lot of counseling and we do events and we do all that and we talk about communication and we talk about all that, that in fact marriage and all that, it is based on friendship, right? We don't think about friendship this way. So friendship involves minor efforts like texting or, hey, how are you doing? Sometimes major efforts depending on the issue, right? But involves effort. Someone say that just stop texting that person. Let's see if the relationship continues or not. If you are the one only reaching out, right? If you are the one always reaching out, if you are the one always reaching out, right? And you stop texting, what will happen with that relationship? It will finish, it will end, or it will continue, or it is both ways, right? So friendship involves effort. So don't get involves effort. It is so important to understand that it takes. Because of the research that we have been reading and all that. But if you're a man especially, you may think that being vulnerable in a friendship is not your thing, right? That it is not masculine, that we don't share our emotions. We don't do that. We haven't taught to express what we have inside, right? So when you come into the potential friendship or into the friendship, you have like a huge fear that you are going to be rejected just if you share some of your emotions, right? So there is that kind of that tension, right, between what you want, what they may be expecting, etc. And there is that misconception of that. No, I cannot share this stuff with my friends. I cannot do it, right? I shouldn't be doing it, right? So that is probably another misconception, right? Another one is that maybe you think you have given up on friendship. Maybe you have given up, like 100%. You have given up on friendship, and you say no more. So you really believe that there are no biblical friends out there anymore, right? That you can't find them anymore. But that's a misconception. As long as there are Christians around, as long as there are churches around, as long as there are good people out there. There are good people. Not in this church, but in other churches. No, just joking. No, but there are biblical friends out there, right? There are biblical friends. Don't give up. I'm just telling you, don't give up. It is a misconception of friendship, right? The last one is that maybe it is too late. Maybe I'm too old, right? And you think it's not worth my effort anymore, right? Well, that's not true. If you are able to find a true friend, despite of what is your age, that is gonna be gold in your life. It is gold. And if you are that kind of person, I think that you have even more chances to find that kind of friendship, right? So those are kind of some misconceptions, right? And let me finish with these two verses, and we're almost done. Luke 19:10, it says that the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. And we were the lost, right? Friends that were lost. Potential friends that were lost, right? For him. I would like to for my life to be that way too, right? No matter if I have close friends or acquaintances, right? Friends, potential friends, right? That they are lost too. In the Amplified, I love the Amplified for these verses. It says, "For God so greatly loved and dearly prized the world that he even gave his one and only begotten Son, so that whoever believes and trusts in him as Savior shall not perish but have eternal life. For God didn't send the Son into the world to judge and condemn the world, that is, to initiate the final judgment of the world, but that the world might be saved through him. Greatly loved, dearly prized, right? Friends that were lost, and he came and he gave his life for us. I love how Jesus has his door always open for friendship, right? He's still open, right? And what was lost, it was all those friendships and potential friendships with him, craving for his creation to be back into an intimate relationship with him, right? Greatly loved, dearly prized, that is friendship. So what to do? And we're gonna finish with 3 points, and then Sean, after the 3 points, yeah, if you can just stop the recording, and we'll go for one song after that related with the sermon. What to do? Is there anyone who you would like to reconnect after the pandemic? There are research after research how people, they have lost friends and connections after the pandemic. Sometimes it was just too hard just to reconnect, right? But maybe God is moving your heart, telling you, hey, reach out to that person that you lost track, right? Is there anyone who you would like to reconnect after the pandemic? Second one, I think that is just a summary of what we have been talking about. Be a safe friend. Be a safe friend. If your friends share something to do with you, don't go around gossiping around. If they need something, be there. Be all loving all the time. They need support. You are there for them. Just be a safe friend with them, right? Be a safe friend. Be that your goal, to be that kind of person, right? To be more like Christ and to be that safe friend. That it is what biblical friendship really is about, right? Third one, it is that this is a reality within the church too. You may feel isolated, so isolated or lonely, right? I'm gonna tell you, let us help you. Tell us what you're going through. Let us guide you if you need some guidance in that area of friendship. We will do it. I mean, but this is something that currently it is happening too within the church, that people feel more and more isolated, right? So you lose traction with friends. Now the times that you interact with your friends, it is less. Now you're getting older. So as you get older, you have even less time to spend with your friends. All those things, there are ways, I think, that we can fight back, right? Being that safe friend, right? Biblical friendship, and be there for each other. So I'm just gonna finish my sermon with a song that you know very well. That it is a song from Michael W. Smith that is called "Friends," right? And he wrote this song just as a farewell for a friend leaving town after 35 years of friendship, and he wrote just this song, and it is a beautiful song. So we're gonna finish with the song.